So I've started recording. And because I'm doing a Zoom in, don't, if you want to speak, then unmute. If not, mute yourself. Okay. So over here, we can see that in my project folder, I have the app and I have the Gradle script. Can we all see that? Can we all see that?
Yes.
Yes, Doc.
Now, the Gradle is my compiler. So it is the Gradle's job to compile my code so that it can run. The app is where all my project folders are kept. My project folders are characterized into three groups. We have the manifest, we have the Java, and we have the RES, which stands for the resource folder. So all my work will be grouped into three folders. That is the manifest, the Java, and the resource folder. Okay. Now, the manifest, it serves as the main folder for my work that keeps all my pertinent information. For example, if you have a ship and they tell you that the ship has a manifest, it means that the ship's manifest contains the information about the ship, where the ship is going, where the ship is heading, how much cargo it has, so on and so forth. So the manifest's job is to keep the title of your app, the number of activities you have, the number of Java pages you have, who talks to who, all of that information is saved in the manifest. Are we clear? Are we clear? Are we there?
Yes, Prof.
Okay. Now, the second folder is the Java folder. And in the Java folder, you have the Android testing and you have the general testing folder. And also you have the main folder that has the main activity. And the main activity is connected to, in the resource folder, you have your layout folder and you have your activity underscore main.xml. So over here, I have the design for my main page. And then here I have the back-end code for my main page. So technically you have the design and you have the back-end code. So every time you create an activity, it will create the design and the back-end code. So because it is the first page I have, it is called the main activity. So over here, the main activity has its corresponding main activity at the back end here for the Java. It should be noted that the main activity here is written in XML. So you can see that over here, this is the canvas, this is the design of it, right? If I go and click on the code view, I can see the code for the design, and it is written in XML. For the actions to be performed, that code is written in Java. So we can see that here I have my Java code. Are we all okay? Can we go on? Do we understand these three folders? It's very important. So anything that has to do with my design, my images, my drawings, my lines, my coloring, everything goes into the resource folder. That is why the designs of my pages can be found in the layout folder. If there are no questions, I'll continue. So I'm continuing.
Okay.
The next thing I have to do is design my page. That is, for me to design my page, I'll go to my app, go to resources, go to layout, and in layout, I'll click on activity underscore main. I can write the code for it, but I will not write the code for it. So I will go to the side here and click on design. And in design, I will click on the hello world here and delete it. Now, I have a section here called the palette. The palette presents me with all the tools I need to design my application. So if someone tells you you have a very heavy palate, it means that your tongue is able to taste a wide variety of things. So over here, all the tools I need to design whatever application I need to design can be found over here. What do I need to design an application to add two numbers? The first thing I would need is a place where an individual can type the two numbers. So I'll click on text. This here presents me with all the text options I have. For example, I can choose phone number, password, if I want the person to enter a password, email, if the person will enter an email, so on and so forth. I can also choose to use a number, a signed number. Who can tell me what a signed number means? If I say a number is signed, what does it mean? Hey, a class of how many people are here right now? 15 people.
And please,
Tell me who is signed.
say,
Yes.
a sign number is a number that can be assigned a negative sign or a positive sign.
Very good. So a signed number is a number that is either going to be positive or negative. Are we okay? Now, if I don't want that and I also want a decimal number, I can choose the decimal for the person to enter a particular decimal number he or she wants. In my case, I just want a number. So I'll click on number. I'll drag number to the canvas and I'll place it where I want. Now, there is something important we have to note here, that the things which are here, they are fluid. The container, the designing container, the white space, is like a fluid. So everything that is in it, it is just there. It's like when we're children and you would go and take rocks and put it in the bottled water or something like that. And then you pour water into it, then you shake it, then the rocks will be moving in the bottle. Then when you put it down, all the rocks will come to the bottom, then the water will come to the top. That's how this thing is. So everything I put here, I have to use a particular layout framework to hold it there. There is a relative layout, there is a constraint layout. For this week, we'll use constraint layout. Next week, then we'll use relative layout. For constraint layout, it means that I have to click on all the edges and drag them. So I'll drag this to the end. And then over here, I'll click on this. You can see me clicking on it and me dragging it to the top and letting go. Are we okay? So where did you go? Sorry, let me come. What happened? It's here. So I'll click here and drag it to the top. Sorry. Click, drag. Okay. And I'll drag it here too. And I'll drag it there too. Wonderful. And then I'll move it to my top. And you can see that there is something like a spring around everything. So everything you see here has a spring there. You can see a nice spring around everything. So the spring is acting like a counterbalance for your car, for example. You see that when you go over a speed bump, your car doesn't jump or anything because the spring takes up all the effects. That's how this thing is. So with this, my item will not be like the bottled container with the sand and stuff, but will be fixed to a particular position because the springs will hold it there. For me, I want to place this thing in this direction here, and I want to increase the size of the box a bit. So let me remove this. So I want to increase the size of the box a bit to this length so that everything would be showing on the main page like this, right? So I want this. This is what I want. Also, I want to increase the size of the width a bit. Good. So I want something like this, which is great. Now, I also want a text view. A text view where I'll put, let's it over here. so that in here, I can constrain it to, so I'm going to constrain it to the left, constrain it to the right, constrain it to the top, and then constrain it down to the bottom too, so that it is fixed, right? I don't think I did the bottom one well, so let me click on it and drag it all the way to the bottom again. Let go, and I've constrained it there. Then I'll move it to the location in which I want, which is here. Again, let me zoom outward a bit. Make sure everything is in the location in which I want. So I want something like this. Are we okay? Now, I'm going to highlight this two. Press Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V to paste it. Ctrl-V. I've pasted on top of this. I think I did it. Yeah. So that I can, sorry. Let me see what I good. So I can have two of them. So I have one box here, another box here. Good. And then I need a button. So over here, I'll go and click on button. I have button over here, and I'll come and put my button over here. Great. The next thing I need is I need another one of these text boxes. So I'll copy and paste it so that over here, I have one more of these boxes so that when I do my 1 + 1, then the answer will show here when I click on the button. So that is how you use the palette to move things around and push things left and right. Remember that if you don't constrain it, your items will just be all over the page and so on and so forth. Now, do we have any problem with you moving the things on the design? Any questions on that?
Sir,
Yeah.
please, sir, when I'm trying to constrain my buttons, it doesn't constrain, but rather it resizes. Please, what's causing that? That.
Do you mind sharing your screen?
Please, sir, I'm using my phone.
I'm using your phone to do the Android. How? You're using the phone to do the Zoom.
Yes, please.
Now, luckily for you, this button here, I have not constrained it. We can see that there are no constraints on the button. When I click here, you can see there are
Yes,
lines
sir.
going to all the sides, right? But here, the button, I have
Yes,
not
sir.
done that. So watch what I'm about to do. You see the white circle
Yes, sir.
thing here. Can we see that? I will click it and I will
Yes, sir.
drag it to the top. Can we see that? Now, at
Yes,
the bottom,
please.
the bottom one too, I will click the circle thing there, and then I will drag it to the bottom. You see that when I get to the bottom, the line becomes like a string. Can you see that? Then I'll let go.
Yes, please.
Then I will come to the side, I will click it, and then I will drag it to the side. And when I get there, then I let go. And then I'll drag it to this side too. So I'll click on the circle, not the line, but if you click the line, it will resize it. For example, if I click the line here, I will resize the button like this, okay? But if I click on the circle and drag whilst holding, then it will turn into a string. Then I can go and place it where I want it to be. So in this case, I want it to be just about here, and then I'll let go. Can we see that?
Yes, sir. But please, another question. With mine, I can't find any circle. The circle that you are dragging, I can't find it here in mine.
Hey,
I can only find the red size buttons.
Are you sure? You should be able to see the circle. You don't see circles over here.
No, please. Only the red size buttons there.
When you click on the tools come, but there are no circles there.
Yes, please. But I can resize it all right, but I can't drag it as you are doing.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. So which one have you done? Have you done text box or which one did you?
It's a number.
Okay, so you chose
I
the
used
number.
the number.
So click
Yes,
on the number.
Okay.
And then go and click on code.
Code. Yes, sir.
So you see something like this, right? And then for the number, it is an edit text. So go and look for the edit text. You see an edit text like this. Are we okay?
Yes, sir.
Now for you, you will see up to here, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Type this thing here. The things I've highlighted, type them there quickly.
Yes, sir.
So you, under the button, but before the slash close, type up .. layout_ constraint button to bottom parent. Type it in. Are we done?
Yes, sir. Please, I'm done.
Okay, so you have typed everything here, right?
Yes,
up to
please.
here.
Yes,
And
please.
make sure the layout constraint _ to button, you type the spelling is all correct.
I'm cross-checking, please.
Okay. Where the
Yes, sir.
the
Everything is
code
correct.
very good. So now go and click on the design again.
Okay. I've clicked it.
And when you click, do you see the constraint lines there?
Yes, please. I've seen it.
Okay, so you can hard code it, but again, some of you, if I start doing the coding stuff with you, you run away from the course. You say the course coding days, I make a sure. So I don't want, but you can type the code directly over there. Are we okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, and the rest of them, you can just copy and paste them. But when you paste them, they will go to the same location as this. That means that you have to now go and drag them where they are supposed to. Are we okay?
Okay,
now,
sir.
I have designed my layout. So this is my layout. Okay. So on the screen, this is how it will appear. I'll see these things here and then they'll be here like this. Okay, that's fine. But of course, over here, we can see that the name I have here is text view button. It doesn't make any sense because I have to tell the user that, oh, this place is for number 1, this place is for number 2. And when you click on this one, you are going to sum them up. Are we clear? So I have to change all of those details before I can do anything. So how will I change the details? Now, over here on the side, let's watch it very well. We have a panel here called attributes. So when I click on this, it means that all the things here under the attributes belong to or only the text view I've clicked here. When I click on this, it means that the attributes here belong to the edit text. Here, it belongs to the text view. Here, it belongs to the edit text. Now, when I click on this text view here, over here, I can see that the ID is called text view. And when I scroll down here somewhere, I can see that the text is called text view. What is the difference between the text here and then the ID over here? I'm coming to explain this, and I want you to listen to the explanation very well because it is very important. The text view, the text I have here, so under common attributes, I can see text. What is here is what the users see on the screen. So over here, when I type number space 1, or to be specific, I type enter number 1, it means that this enter number 1 will be displayed here for the user to see. So when you take your app and you see enter number 1, that enter number 1, the display things you see on the screen, the writing you see. When you take your WhatsApp, you see the person's name and everything you see there comes from the text property of the element that is on your screen. So the element you have on your screen is text property, is what you are seeing over there. So over here, the text property I have for text is what I am seeing over there. So when I click here, over here is text property is what I am calling upon. Remember, all the attributes here belong to that. So we can call upon any of the attributes. But for viewing of things, for showing things, for things to display to you, it is the text property that is displaying to you. Now, let's come to the top here where we have the ID. The ID is the information that is seen by the computer in the backend. So the computer, when he sees this thing here, he thinks that the name is text view. I want to change that. I want it when he sees it to see it as TXT TXT label 1. Are we okay? So it means that for the computer, any time in which it sees TXT label 1, it knows that it is something that holds information, and the information there is enter number 1. When I click on this one here, I don't need any text view for it. So over here, I'll call it edit text. So let's say ET number 1, so that I know that this is the edit text number 1. Or let me just name it TXT number 1. When I click on this thing here too, the reflector, when I click on this thing here too, I'll change this one's name to over here. When I click on this, I'll change its name to TXT label 2, so that the computer knows that wherever it sees this thing here, it's supposed to be called TXT label 2. And when I come down here, I will change its view to enter number 2, so that the computer knows that what is showing on the screen here is number 2. Over here, when I click on this, I will change the name and the ID of it to TXT number 2. And then over here, where I have the button, I will change the button's name, are we okay, to, I'll make sure I click on the button. So I've clicked on the button. And then I'm looking for its common attributes. I'm looking for the text attribute. And I'll say sum, so that the person knows that over here, when he clicks on it, it's going to sum. And I'll click on the button again, make sure it is clicked on. And over here, I'll go to the top and rename it to BTN sum, so that I know that whenever I say BTN sum, I'm referring to the button over here. Finally, over here, I'll click on this and I'll change the name of this to TXT answer. And then I'll click on enter and reflector. So that is how I will change the namings of my thing. So again, if I come out of this zoomed up screen, I'll see that I have number 1, number 2, sum here. The person will know that you enter something here, enter something here, and enter something here. Also, I can do this in the code side. So when I go to the code side, I can see that because I did duplicates, every time I do it, it was duplicated. That's why I said nothing. So over here, I'll just change this to 1. Over here, I'll change this to TXT number 1. Over here, I'll change it to as another edit text, so TXT number 2. And then over here, I have the last edit text, which will be answer. And then the label for this will be label 2. So we can see that all the things in which I want here are how they are to be. Just making sure it is what it is. Wonderful. So when I come back to my design side, I have this here. I have no problems. I don't think I have any problems. Let me see. Missing a label, edited, no speaker present, size too small. All of these things are things which are warnings, and I don't really care about them. They are not big errors, so I don't care about them. So I have my designed page over here, fully designed. Now, I must test it and see how it looks like in my app. So I will just come to the top here. So again, at the top here, I can see that I have created a Pixel 3 phone that I can click here to start opening it up. It will open up in my Gradle. So we can see that at the bottom here, my Gradle will be running. And what did I say the Gradle was? Who can tell me? What did I say the Gradle was?
You said the Gradle for you.
The Gradle is the compiler.
Very good. So the Gradle is the compiler. So it will take my work, compile it, and when it is done, it will transfer it to my emulator for it to show. So that is the job in which it is doing over here. Are we clear on that? So again, whilst the emulator is doing its job of emulating and bringing it up and all of those things, are there any questions someone is answering or something like that? We are all okay. You can see my phone popping up over here. Yeah. Note that apart from the fact that you cannot hold the phone, it is basically a phone in which you have. So those of you who cannot buy phone, you can buy this one. The only downside is every time you have to carry a laptop along. So if you are very observant, down here it tells you that the Gradle has finished building the app. So my app does not have any issue. Are we okay? There is no problem with my app. My app is running perfect. So that is done. Now it is waiting for my emulator to come online for it to transfer the app to the emulator. Is that clear? So whilst that is going on, let us start looking at the Java side. So let me just collapse this to the side. And then I'll come over here to project. And then in project, I am going to go and look for my Java. So over here, I have my Java folder. And in my Java folder, I'll click on my application.com. And then I'll see main activity. So for you, whatever name you gave your project, you see it to become .example, the name you gave, and you just go and click on the main activity that is over here. So here I have all my Java code here. Now, before I go on to do anything, I am assuming most of you in this place here have done Java before. Have you?
We have not.
Hey, how? Eh?
Okay, let me say I have not, please.
Hey, how? How? What course are you people doing?
Information technology.
Okay.
ICT information technology education.
And in ICT information technology education, there is no programming course there called Java.
No, sir.
Hey, are we sure of what we are saying right now? Okay, no problem. So
We
what
did
programming
Java, but we
language?
forgot.
Eh, what's Obia Kanukreno? What kind of Oh, okay. My app has come. So let's view the app on the side here. Okay.
Jemima is steady.
So over here, we can see that we have enter number 1, enter number 2. When I click here, I can enter number 1 that I want, When I click here, I can enter number 2 that I want. This is how it will look like on your device. Are we okay? So the device you have, this is how the application will look like. So we are on track. We are on track. So you can see that when I click here, it brings up the thing here. I can click on, let's say 22, and then we'll see 22 appearing over here. So basically, we are on track, right? My app is working nicely. But I can see that the 22, it is hidden because the space there is too small. So it means that, let me collapse this and then stop the app from running so that when I go to my design, I can tell the computer that here, make the space here a bit bigger. You understand? So we can go and make the space bigger, do all of those changes that we require for our app. Are you okay? So I can make the space here a bit bigger so that the person can have enough room to see what he or she is typing, so on and so forth. Now, but let us come here because over here, I need to write the Java code. Okay, so we need to bind the elements we see on the screen with the Java code. Give me 1 second, I'm coming. Ebenezer, can you hear me now? Said you have a bad network.
Yes, please, I can hear you.
All right. The class is also recorded.
We don't see anything on the screen.
Because I said it back. Do you have any question? One can screen back now over the but yeah. I'm trying to make the editable area for the Java a bit big so that you can see. So just give me 1 second and time. We'll finish the class right now. By the way, the 2 videos I gave you, what I'm doing today was inside. Technically, you should have watched it before coming today. So what happened? Did you watch the video? Hello. Can you hear me, please? Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so I've been able to make it a bit bigger. So we can start typing our code now. Don't worry, everything in which I'm going to do now, I'm going to recite to you what I am doing. At the top here, we have the importations. Are we okay? Now, these importations here are things in which we bring to our application to help us run our code. They are things which are already written, so we are not the ones writing them, and it is the job of Java to use to help us to write our code. The first thing which is very important is the app compact activity. This app compact activity is the structure of how all applications are in Java. That is every activity you see, the way it looks, the way it feels. That is its basic structure. So what we are telling the computer is that for our class, go and take the information that is in the app compact activity. That means that technically we have given this main class activity the basic structure of how every single Java application is written. So immediately, this class has the structure of every single Java application. The next thing we need to know is that this method here, the onCreate, is the first thing that will be run when the computer sees this main activity class. That is to say that whenever you put on your WhatsApp, whenever you turn on your game, anything you do with your phone, the first thing that will open is the onCreate. So in here is where we'll put most of the things we'll do, because it is in the onCreate that our application will be created and run. Now, in here, I am going to tell the computer that on my page, the page in which I am using an edit text. What is an edit text? The edit text is where we have this this thing here, the area in which someone will use to type. This thing here is called an edit text. So on my screen, I have an edit text. So again, when I come here, I'm going to tell the computer that create a private variable that is of data type edit text, and call this thing here, let's say edit text. Or if I do that, let's say call it num1. Okay, this makes more sense. This will be easier for you. So it means that over here, I've just created a private variable. It is private because only this class here can use it. So if you are another class, you cannot use it. If I make it public, someone else can use it. I don't want that. So I made it private. And the data I will be storing here will be of type edit text. That means over here, the information you will type here, the data type of it, the kind of data you are typing there is edit text. So I've created something here with the Java for edit text. I will create something here again with the Java for the number 2 because I have 2 edit texts there. I will create another thing for the answer. So here too, I'll create an edit text for the answer that the person will have. And finally, I need to create another private, but this time it's going to be of type button, and it is going to serve the purpose of button add. So whenever I see this, I would see the addition button there. So over here, we can see that it is red. It is telling me that there is nothing on this computer that tells me that this thing here is supposed to be used, because we can see that for the edit text, I have a widget. So I have all the properties given to me and I'm just using it. But for the button, there are no properties there. So if I click on alternate enter, the computer will go and bring those properties to me so that I can use the button. For those of you who will be typing, note that this no usage, it comes automatically with the application, so you don't have to type that. Now, why did I create private edit text, private edit text, private edit text, and private button when I have them on the design screen here? So I have edit text here, a button here, and edit text here. Why am I creating these things in the Java? When I started the teaching today, I told you that the code you have on the layout is in XML, and the code you have over here is in Java. Technically, these two things do not go together. So inside the onCreate, the first thing I will do is tell the computer that wherever you see num1, so wherever you see the num1 I have over here, I am referring to, so it is equal to, find an element with its ID. Very important. Over here, when I go here and I come and click on this first one here, and I go and check the attributes panel here, I see that the ID I called it is number1. So what I'm telling the computer that go and look for an element that has the ID called. So how will it find it? It will go to the resources folder and look through all the resource folder, and it will find an element there. You can see that the moment I brought the dot, it shows me that in the resource folder, all elements with ID appear here for me. And the thing I am looking for is the txt number1. So the computer, or what I have just done on this line here, is something we call data binding, which means that I have just joined together the thing I have in XML to the thing I have in Java, so that anytime I say number1 in Java, I am referring to txt number1 in the layout. And anytime I say txt number1 in the layout, I'm referring to number1 in what? Java. So I have just binded the HTML and the Java together. And again, how did I do this? I took the variable that is in Java that I created over here, so the number2 I created over here, and I said the computer should find an element for me. So it is going to find something in my folders for me. And how will it find it? It should find it by knowing that the thing is in the resource folder. So when it goes to the resource folder, it should look through the IDs of all the things I have in my resource folder. And when it gets there, it should look for an element with the name number1, 2. So now I have the number2. For the number3, I will do the same thing. I'll just copy this. I'll paste it here. I'll say here should be 3. And over here should also be what? 3. And then, I called it answer, sorry. So over here I have dots. And then here I can see I called it txt answer. Very good. So number3 is done. And here I didn't call it number3. I called it what? Answer. So now that one also goes out. Then here I have button. So button add should be equal to find elements by ID in the resource folder using the ID, and it is called btn sum. So now I have joined all the things I have in my layout screen to the things I have in my Java. So now I have binded the two together. Now I'm going to tell the computer that go and take my button. So again, wherever I say button add, I am referring to the element called btn sum. When I go to my layout, I'll see that the button here has an ID called btn sum over here. So that is what I'm referring to. So I'm telling the computer that go and take that button, and I want you, listen to this very carefully, to listen to it. I want you to be there and listen to it, so that when someone clicks on it, then you do something. So here I'm going to set an on-click listener. So set on-click listener. So I'm setting an on-click listener where when the user clicks on the button, whatever I have in this section here would run as my code. To do the on-click listener, let me rewrite the code again, because there's a way in which you can do it without typing everything out. So first of all, you type the name of the button in Java, you bring a dot, and you type set on click listener. You can see that that's the first thing I have here. So I'll use the tab to complete it. Then I'll type new, give a space, and type capital V. And the computer knows that I'm coming to say new view on click listener. And I'll use the tab again to finish it. And it will finish it up for me. Now in here, I'm going to tell the computer to add numbers and use the brackets to finish it off. So over here, I've just created a function to add the numbers. Very simple. That means that in here, I need to create a private. Sorry, in here means inside the class, but outside the onCreate. So I am here. I'm going to create a private void, which means that my method will not save anything, add numbers, and close it off. You can see that over here, the red that was showing here is gone because I've just created the function. So this function is going to handle the adding of the numbers for us. And how will it do that? I'm going to tell the computer that string number one str, so number one as a string, is equal to, what did we call it? We called it num1 dot get text dot to string. Now let's explain this line very well. The line I just did on line 38. What does it mean? It means that go and pick the edit text. So the edit text for Java is called num1. But we said that anytime we say num1, we are talking about txt number one. So the computer will go here, go and pick the txt number one. So this is the txt number one. When you find the txt number one, go and take the text property of txt number one. So again, anything you see that is displaying on your screen is the text property. That means that in here, when I start typing, and in any form you do, when you start typing, the thing you are typing is being saved in the text property of the element. That means that over here, if I want what you have typed, I have to go and look for your text property. So first of all, I'm taking the text box, and then I'm taking what you have typed. And what you have typed, I'm making sure it is a string. And I'll go and give it to a string. I'm going to do that same thing here to number two. So over here, I have number two, and I'm making sure it is done as a number two. The next thing here is that the computer, everything you type here is seen as a string automatically. And I am supposed to add numbers up. That means that I must make sure that the numbers I have can be added up. So in here, I'm going to tell the computer that if number one str dot is empty. So over here, the computer will check if this thing is empty. And at the same time, number two str dot is empty. So Here, I'm checking if the element I have here is empty. That is, you have not typed anything in the first two boxes. This one will check it for me. But I am going to add an exclamation mark over here and an exclamation mark over here, so that in here, I will only have you when what you have is not empty. The variable here is checking if you are empty. So with the exclamation mark, it means when you are filled, and if this one is also filled, then come in here and then say that double number one. Okay, here I can't use number one again. So let me say N1 is equal to double dot pass double, and in here I'll put number one str. That is, I am converting the string into a double, and then over here too, I'll convert the string for number two to a double. Then I can now say double sum is equal to number one plus number what? 2. Now, I can now say that answer dot set text will be equal to result semicolon space, and here I'll add plus sum, so that and here I'll say else the same thing, answer dot set text, but here I'll say please enter both numbers. Okay, so here I have, here it's supposed to be N1 plus N2. Okay, so now this here will take care of my addition for me. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the code for you to add two numbers together. Now we must try this application we have written in our Android application. Are we okay? Are there any questions before we try it on our Android application? Have I been talking to myself?
No, Prof. Doc,
No, Doc, we are here.
we are here.
Well, you are quiet. It's like Charlie. Cause at the end of
No, writing code is very, very fun.
I'm quiet.
I'm quiet. The machine that we are using.
the
our
machine
machine.
that you are using.
Yes. Enkoyi. So I'm just listening. Yeah, I'm just watching carefully, and after that, I need to work on the machine and see how best we can handle this. So I'm following.
You are following.
Seriously.
Okay. The other time we used Scrappy, right? I sent it to you. Did you receive it?
Yes, we did, but installing on my machine,
The Scrappy
a lot of
tool.
problem.
The Scrappy tool.
A lot of, when I extract it and install, there's something I don't know. In fact, Prof, after this, we are pleading that we'll meet you face to face.
Face to face.
Yeah, at least. At least we need to meet you face to face.
I see. Face to face would be but wait. This one there's a question I'll ask you. If you meet me face to face,
Okay.
what does that have to do with the machine?
There are certain things we can just show it to you. Probably like we are helping a lady for us. Then
but the lady is not face to face. Oh, hey, are you?
Yes. We are following. Seriously.
Okay, so over here, I have my phone. Okay, so I've connected my phone. I will not use the emulator this time. So this is my phone. I have opened my phone over here. Are we okay? So
yes.
I'm going to start the application. So I've started it, right? So the Gradle is working. So over here, I'll come and click here, and I can see that the Gradle is working. So it is compiling all the code I have written so that it pushes the code onto my phone. Then we'll see if it will come. Are we okay? So let's give it some few seconds. It is launching on the phone now. So now that it has launched on the phone, I can see it popping up on my phone in a few minutes. Then we'll get it there. Yes. So over here, this is the app that we have. Are we okay? So here, when I click here, you can see that it pops up. And there is something I want to show you over here. Okay. Over here, this here shows me that the app has run. Are we okay? So you can see that anything I do over here, let's say here I type 22, you can see that all the things which are going on will show over here. Are we okay? So in real time, I can do my editing and debugging. Everything I do, that I'll get a response here. You can see that it's on the phone, this is the device, everything I do, it's being logged. So in real time, I can do my compiling and debugging and so on and so on. Now, when I click here you can see that I did not make this place bigger. So again, when I type the 22, it is like it is invisible. But I've typed 22 there. That means that in my design, I have to make that place bigger so that when the person types, they can see. Then when I click on sum, it's supposed to show me the result over here. Are we okay? So what happened? My result is not coming, which means I have a problem with my code. Are we okay? Yeah. I have a problem with my code. So I will have to check my code and make sure that there is nothing. Let's see where we have the code. So over here, first thing is first. Here, I have to make this place a bit bigger so that the thing in which I type, I can see. Are we okay? So here, let me make this thing bigger. Who here has installed a Betway app before? Sporty Bet or Betway. Have you installed it before?
Chapters.
Chapters. Oh, chapters with the Betway thing come on.
Oh, okay. Oh no, if you have installed the app before, because I am going to show you how you can send the app you have developed to somebody. Do you understand? So let me see. So I'm making this place also bigger so that we can see what we type. Okay. So this thing should be big enough. Let me make it a bit more bigger. Good. So now I'm going to click on the rerun app so that the app is now going to be rerun on my phone. So the app is going to be rerun on my phone. Now When I come here and I type the 22, we can see it. When I type 22 here, we can see it. And when I press here, we can see that the result is what? 44.0. So you can see that my app is working. Can we see that? My app is working. I have an app. When I go back here, I come here, I can scroll here, and I can see that my application over here, my application is at the bottom here, over here. And when I tap it to open the app, I can see I still have it there. I can change this one to, let's say, 112 here to 113. Click on sum, and then it will sum it up for me. My app is working. There is nothing wrong with my app. Do you understand? People are sending me WhatsApp. Yeah, my app is working. Now, if I want to send this app to somebody, if I want to, let's say this app, I'm done, I want to send it to you guys, I can go and click on build. So at the top here, I have build. Are we okay? And when I click on build, I'll go and click on build APKs, a build app bundle / APKs. And then I'll click on build APK. And this is why I asked those of you who have installed Betway before or Sportybet or whatever. If you have installed that app before, you realize that you are not installing it from Play Store. You are installing it from the APK. That is, someone is sending you the executable app, and then you are installing from there. So when you click there, it will do the app as an extendable app. So we can see that here I have the debug version, see the app APK. So this file here, if I send it to you, you can install the app on your phone. To be honest with you, if you want to put your application in the App Store, then you have to build it as a bundle, and then you can go and put your app in the App Store. That's how you put your app there. It's as simple as that. Of course, you have to pay a registration fee to put your app there. But this is how apps are built. The layout, design it, write the code for the back, put it together, and send. That's all. Are we all okay?
Yes, Doc.
I'll send you the code for the Java. I will send you the video of this class, and I'll also send you the APK so that you can install it on your phone. You ask you, do you want to install? Yes, yes, yes. Then install it on your phone. Then you see the app working. Also, if you can see, the app here is white, but on my phone, when I show it to you, it was black. It was black because over here in the layout, are we okay? You can see that where we have the values, we have themes, and we have themes for dark view and light view. So this is the dark view, this is the light view, which means that technically on your phone, every app has themes for when, like designs for when it is dark and designs for when it is white.
Yeah.
So next week when we come, we would learn how to do a logo for our app, learn how to design our app for dark theme, learn how to design our app for light theme. And then in the app we just did one activity, that is one page. So we will learn how to do 2 or 3 pages and put them together. Are we okay?
Yes, sir.
Please, one thing in which I know about coding is that if you are afraid, you don't know. Number 2, if you don't practice, you don't know. So practice. There is no harm in failing. There is no harm. If you have a problem, say I was trying to do this, just try and make sure your computer is something we can share the screen. I will help you. I have no problem helping you. I will help you. We'll go through your code. We'll make sure your own is running. Even if it takes the whole class, it's better for your code to run than for me to teach something. You understand? But the case whereby you are not practicing, you are not helping me and you are not helping me. And let's be honest, nowadays, if you develop an application for somebody, if you develop an app for somebody, you are charging around 8,000 cedis, 10,000 cedis for the app. So if every weekend you can do an app for somebody, every weekend you can have 10,000 cedis in your pocket just like that. Plus, you will also charge for maintenance. So if maintenance, you are taking 1,000 cedis a month, means technically, if you have 10 companies, you get 10,000 every month just by being awake. And if you keep on adding up, you have your own company. You even stop working before you are 40. There is money in development, but the patience people should have to learn it, they don't have it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will leave here tonight. There is no other. Finally, is there any other question? Is there something you want to do? If there is nothing, then thank you for coming this evening. I will send you the videos as I said. Try and practice. There is no harm in that. It's the way I recited the code. If it was you who I told to do it, you complain. But you can see that every line I type here, I could explain every line. Why do I do it there? Why don't I bring this thing here? Why don't I remove it and bring it here at the bottom here? But I put it at the top where you found it over here. Why do I put everything in where it's supposed to be? There's a reason why I do it. It is not difficult. So remove that from your brain and practice. Just practice, and you will know. If you have an error, we all have errors. In my office today, somebody had an error, and I was laughing at the person. I have also had an error before, and he has laughed at me. We all have errors. There is no shame in having an error. The shame is you not being able to ask for help or find why the error is there. Just try. There is no shame in trying. You are not a big boy. If you are on retirement and you can't work hard again and you can code, you can wear your boxer shorts, you're an old man, you have your computer, you type your code, get your money and look after your grandchildren. Coding will not go anywhere. AI will not come and take anything away. You will still need the coder. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for coming. And I'll make sure you have all the material before tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
And the lady, are you okay?
She's okay.
Hey, are you there with her?
Are you with
That's
her?
not good, oh.
Are you with her?
Are you with her?
Are you there?
Hey, Charlie. All right, Doc.
Thank you so
very
much
much.
for coming. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Yo,
That's all.
please, Charlie, you go what's up?
Actually, this is you are not joking.